On a stormy night, a security guard suddenly runs into the woods. His face is pale. The flashlight in his hand shakes wildly. He keeps looking back, as if something behind him is closing in fast. But the moment he reaches the road, a car comes straight at him. The screech of brakes cuts through the night, and the guard is slammed to the ground. When the police arrive, they realize this was not a normal accident. Inside the building the guard had run from, the surveillance system had been cut off, the morgue's cold storage drawer had been opened, and the body of a woman brought in earlier that day was gone. Her name was Maika, a wealthy and powerful businesswoman in the area. That afternoon, she had been declared dead from a heart condition. Her official autopsy hadn't even started yet, but by midnight, her body had vanished without a trace. What makes it even stranger is, her husband, Alex, is not at the hospital. He is not at home either. He is inside his lover, Carla's apartment. Outside the window, the storm is still raging. But inside the room, there is no sign of a grieving husband. To everyone else, Alex is a man who just lost his wife. But in front of Carla, he no longer has to pretend. He is already imagining the life waiting for him. The fortune Maika left behind, the freedom of being out of that marriage, and the warmth of the young woman standing right in front of him. But then, his phone rings. The police tell him Maika's body is missing. And with that one sentence, the calm look on Alex's face freezes. If he were just an ordinary husband, he should be angry. He should be panicking. He should be asking who touched his wife's body. But the first thing that flashes through his mind is something else. Has the autopsy already started? Did they find anything he left behind? And who would take that body at this exact moment? Carla starts to feel uneasy too. She asks Alex, "Wasn't Maika already dead?" Alex answers without hesitation. He knows exactly what he did. She wasn't breathing. But from the moment that call comes in, the man who thought he was finally safe is pulled into a hunt he can't see and can't escape. The inspector in charge is named Jaime. He doesn't believe in ghosts or anything supernatural. What he cares about are the details at the scene. Inside the building, only one camera was still working. Every other security feed had gone dark. Someone wanted that place blind, and someone else used that darkness to take the body. But if this was theft, stealing a corpse makes no sense. And if it was a prank, the price is far too high. Soon, Alex is brought to the forensic center. By then, he has already put the grieving husband act back on. There is anger in his voice, as if he too is a victim of this bizarre night. But Jaime doesn't comfort him, and he doesn't follow Alex's emotions. He simply asks what his relationship with his wife was like. Alex answers almost too quickly. He says their marriage was stable. Maika was healthy too, and everything that happened tonight is impossible for him to accept. On the surface, nothing about that answer sounds wrong, but those words, "she was healthy," make Jaime look at him. Because when a healthy woman suddenly dies, that alone is worth questioning. Alex realizes he may have said too much. Jaime keeps pressing. Did Maika have any enemies? Alex denies it right away. He says Maika had no problems with anyone, but Jaime reminds him, Maika was a powerful woman. She ran a company. She did business. There is no way she never offended anyone. Alex still says no, but the harder he tries to rule out every possibility, the more it feels like he is trying to shut down every possible lead before Jaime can follow it. Jaime doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't accuse him directly. He just keeps asking ordinary questions, one after another, and lets Alex expose himself. After that, Alex calls Carla. He asks her to go to the hospital and check around for him, see if anything looks suspicious. Carla is nervous, but she agrees. Alex tells her to call him back when she gets the chance. Then, the medical examiner asks if Maika had any medical conditions before she died. Alex keeps denying it, but then he carefully asks if his wife could have died from a heart problem. The examiner says it can't be ruled out. And when Alex hears that, he visibly relaxes. But while Alex is waiting to leave, the forensic center suddenly loses power. An officer goes to check the circuit. Then Alex hears a noise coming from the morgue. He follows the sound inside. And there, in front of the cold storage drawer where Maika's body had been kept, he finds a metal box. Inside the box are his wife's belongings. One of the sealed evidence bags is empty. But the worst part is beside it. Inside a nearby cabinet that has been forced open, there is a small medicine bottle. The moment Alex sees it, his eyes lock onto it. His whole face goes tense, because this is not an ordinary medicine bottle. It is the exact container Alex used for the drug he gave Maika. The drug has no color, no smell. Its effects can be delayed, and when it kicks in, the symptoms look almost exactly like a sudden illness. But now, the one thing he thought he had gotten rid of is sitting inside the morgue. And at that exact moment, the lights come back on. Almost by instinct, Alex grabs the bottle and hides it inside his clothes. Just then, Jaime and the officers rush in. They ask Alex what he is doing there. Alex has no choice but to say he heard a noise. But from this moment on, he is no longer just the husband helping with the investigation. Now Alex himself has become the biggest suspicion inside this morgue. As the police go through Maika's belongings, they discover her phone is missing too. Jaime tells Alex to empty his pockets, his wallet, his keys, his phone. But the one thing he doesn't take out is the medicine bottle hidden under his clothes. Jaime stares at him. Then suddenly, he steps forward and searches him. The bottle is found. Alex immediately explains that it might be a lab sample. He says he only picked it up a moment ago and was about to hand it over to the police. But even Alex knows that excuse doesn't hold up, because the bottle itself is not the scariest part. The scariest part is, someone knows exactly what that bottle means to him. Just then, the phone rings again. This time, it is Carla calling. Jaime tells Alex to answer it right in front of him. Alex has no choice but to pretend she is his sister. He keeps his answers short and vague, just trying to get through the call. But after he hangs up, his palms are already sweating. Because Carla is not just some ordinary lover, she is the most dangerous reason behind his entire crime. Alex's wife Maika was powerful, wealthy, sharp. Almost every resource in Alex's life was in her hands. On the surface, she gave him status. She gave him a respectable life. But to Alex, this marriage felt like a house with no way out. He couldn't let go of Maika's money, but he was tired of living under her control. He didn't have the courage to leave her openly, but he still wanted another woman. So he wrapped all of his greed in one harmless-sounding excuse. He just wanted to start over. First, he got the drug from the lab. Then he slipped it into Maika's red wine. Once the drug took effect, Maika would look like she had suffered a sudden medical emergency. The police wouldn't suspect him right away, and her fortune would naturally fall into his hands. His plan was carefully built. He had even practiced the face of a grieving husband. But he never imagined that a dead woman could vanish from the morgue. And he never imagined the bottle he thought he had gotten rid of would show up right in front of him again. After hanging up, Alex says he needs to use the bathroom. But the moment he turns away, he calls Carla again. Carla confirms there really is a guard at the hospital who was found unconscious. So the police are not making this up. And if Jaime is telling the truth, then someone else is moving in the dark, pulling the strings. Alex can't understand it. How could anyone else possibly know? Only he and Carla know what really happened. Carla insists she never told anyone, but then she reminds Alex of something worse. What if Maika had found out about their relationship a long time ago? That question hits Alex like ice down his spine. He suddenly remembers he has a habit of talking in his sleep. He splashes water on his face, trying to calm himself down. But when he looks up, there is an envelope sitting on the windowsill. Inside is an invitation to a party, and on the back is a familiar line. "Close your eyes. I'm still beside you." It isn't one of his wife's love notes. It is the kind of message Carla used to send him. That day, Alex had made an excuse to skip his wife's party so he could meet Carla. When he came home late that night, he thought Maika was already asleep, so he secretly checked Carla's messages. Maika lay still in the bed, as if she really had fallen asleep. But maybe her eyes had been open the whole time. She just never let him see it. The invitation proves whoever is doing this knows about Carla. They know every lie Alex told, every time he disappeared, every night he slipped away with guilt on his face. Alex panics. He tears the invitation into pieces and throws them into the toilet. But the toilet won't flush. No matter what he does, the pieces won't go down. Outside the door, an officer is already urging him to hurry, so Alex has no choice. He reaches into the toilet, pulls the wet pieces out one by one, and forces himself to swallow them. Then he walks out as if nothing happened. The bathroom was supposed to be a short escape from Jaime's questions. Instead, it becomes another interrogation room. Soon, new clues start appearing one after another. The electronic calendar inside the forensic center has been changed to a specific date. The access code has been changed to the same numbers too. The 20th of March 2012. Jaime asks Alex if that date means anything to him. Alex denies it on the surface, but inside his stomach drops, because that was the day he first met Carla. Right after that, the police find what look like escape traces inside the ventilation ducts and up on the roof. At first glance, the marks seem messy, but every one of them seems to point back to Alex. Little by little, he starts to believe Maika may not be dead at all. Maybe she discovered the poisoning plan before it happened. Maybe she knew about Carla, about the bottle, about that date. Maybe she didn't run away. Maybe she is hiding somewhere in the dark, waiting for him to fall apart. Just as Alex is about to crack, the fire alarm suddenly goes off. The sprinklers come on, throwing the whole building into chaos. Alex slips into another room and answers Carla's call. But the moment he looks up, he sees a wristband on one of the shelves. Written on it are Carla's name and address. The next second, he thinks he sees Maika standing outside the window, but when he blinks, the figure is gone. Alex's mind starts to break. He can no longer tell whether what he saw was only in his head or whether Maika has really come back. After the sprinklers stop, Jaime is already standing at the door. Alex tries to delete the call history, but an officer snatches the phone out of his hand. The police try to trace Carla, but nothing comes up. The number is hidden, and at the address, there is no one by that name. Then, the lab results come back. The substance inside the bottle can indeed cause symptoms that look like a heart attack, and that matches exactly how Maika died. Jaime's suspicion keeps growing. He decides to take Alex back to the station for questioning. While they wait for the transport car, Alex is locked alone inside a room. He has barely sat down when another sound comes from near the window. Sitting there is a wine glass. It looks exactly like the one he used to drug his wife. Alex's nerves tighten completely. For a moment, it feels like someone is right behind him, leaning close to his ear.
Esta noche serás mío.
He spins around, only to realize he had briefly drifted off and startled himself awake. But before he can calm down, a ringtone starts coming from the morgue next door. Alex pushes the door open and steps inside. The sound is coming from a body bag. He moves closer, slowly, then he unzips it. The caller ID says Maika. In that moment, Alex feels his mind starting to split apart. He answers the call, but there is only silence on the other end. Alex keeps saying Maika's name, again and again. Then, the call suddenly ends. He calls back, but this time, the person who answers is a restaurant employee. The employee says the phone was found in the restaurant bathroom, and that restaurant is the same place Maika had visited before she died. A dead woman shouldn't be calling anyone. But now, Maika's phone has just rung from inside a body bag. Alex suddenly remembers something. That day, Maika had met a man at the restaurant. He looked like a lawyer. Maika had also mentioned that she wanted to make changes to her estate. At the time, Alex didn't think much of it. But now, it feels different. Maybe Maika had already prepared her counterattack. If she had changed her will, then Alex's so-called perfect plan was wrong from the very beginning. And now, things are starting to happen on Carla's side too. Someone delivers a hard drive to her apartment. Inside, there are photos of her and Alex together. But that is not all. There are also recordings of the two of them talking about the plan in private. Only then does Alex realize someone may have been listening from the very beginning. He tells Carla to leave immediately, but over the phone, just as Carla runs downstairs, Alex hears a car engine start in the distance. Then the call cuts off. Alex completely loses it. He rushes up to Jaime and demands that the police send someone to save Carla right now. But Jaime only asks him one question: who is Carla? That one question breaks Alex completely. He finally admits he was involved with Carla. He admits Maika may have wanted revenge after finding out. And he admits the drug bottle really does connect back to him. But there is still one thing he refuses to let go of. Maika is not truly dead. She is setting him up. Jaime looks at him and asks, if you carefully planned your wife's death, and you are sure nothing went wrong, then why would she still be alive? That question leaves Alex with nothing to say. All he can do is keep guessing. Maybe Maika switched the glasses beforehand. Maybe she found a way to fake everything. But by now, none of it sounds like an explanation anymore. It sounds more like Alex desperately searching for one last way out. At the same time, the evidence starts closing in. The police find tools and a sports bag inside Alex's car. The footprints on the roof also match the soles of his shoes. Then the guard from the opening scene, the night watchman from the morgue, finally wakes up, and he gives his statement to the police. That night, he noticed something wrong with the surveillance system, so he went upstairs to check it out. But inside the elevator, he saw Maika's body. Then the elevator doors opened again, and the body was gone. In its place stood someone wearing a mask and holding a gun. The guard panicked and ran out of the building. That is why he ended up being hit by a car outside the woods. And the shell casing found at the scene matches the gun from Alex's house. Piece by piece, every piece of evidence now points straight back to him. The police now believe Alex poisoned Maika first, then he broke into the forensic center to move the body. He cut off the surveillance system, and he staged the entire night to create confusion. Alex denies it again and again. He says someone is framing him. He says Maika isn't dead. He says Carla is in danger right now. But at this point, no matter what he says, it only sounds like a suspect trying to save himself. Every strange detail from earlier starts coming back into place, and every clue pushes Alex closer to a dead end. Soon, the police find Maika's body out in the countryside. The moment Alex sees the body, he freezes. Maika really is dead. She didn't come back. She wasn't hiding, and she wasn't pulling the strings from the dark. That leaves only one answer. There is someone else. Someone who knows the truth even better than Maika did. Someone who knows Alex poisoned his wife. Someone who knows about him and Carla. Someone who can control what happens inside the forensic center and still steer the police investigation exactly where he wants it to go. With that thought, Alex looks at Jaime for the first time like he is really seeing him. But Jaime stays calm. He tells Alex the police went to Carla's apartment. No one lives there. The neighbors have never seen her. Her school has no record of her, and the nurses at the hospital don't know her either. Carla seems to have been erased from the world. Jaime believes Carla may be someone Alex invented, because Alex is a coward, and cowards need someone else to hide behind. So he created a lover who never existed. Alex freezes. The embraces, the messages, the plans they made in secret, the phone calls. Were all of them fake? A woman who is dead is now suspected of being alive, and a woman who should be alive is now suspected of never existing at all. By now, truth and lies have completely switched places. Alex catches them off guard. He shoves past Jaime and runs straight into the woods. He no longer trusts the police. He doesn't trust anyone inside that building either. But before he gets far, something happens to his body. His chest tightens. His breathing gets heavy. His hands and feet turn cold. He stumbles and crashes to the ground. He tries to get back up, but his strength is draining away little by little. Jaime walks toward him slowly. There is no panic in his face, no rush to catch him, only the calm patience of someone waiting for his prey to collapse. 8 hours have passed. The drug is almost fully kicked in. Alex lifts his head, and for the first time, he sees Jaime's real face. That look doesn't belong to an inspector questioning a suspect. It belongs to a husband, a father, a man who has carried 10 years of pain. And in that moment, the whole truth turns upside down. 10 years ago, Alex and Maika caused a car accident on a rainy night. In that crash, Jaime's wife, Ruth, still had a chance to survive. But Alex was afraid of taking responsibility. And Maika pushed him to leave. They didn't call the police. They didn't try to save her. By the time help finally arrived, Ruth would never wake up again. From that night on, Jaime lost his wife. Years later, Jaime and his daughter finally confirmed that Alex and Maika were the ones who fled the scene that night. So the father and daughter built a trial of their own, longer, colder, and far more personal. At this point, it is hard to call Jaime purely righteous. He has crossed the line too, but the cruelest part of the entire setup is hidden inside Carla. Carla was never the lover Alex thought she was. Her real identity is Jaime's daughter. She approached Alex on purpose. She made him fall for her, made him believe she was freedom, a way out, a new life. And while Carla worked on Alex, Jaime used his position as inspector to control everything inside the forensic center. The power outage, the missing body, the medicine bottle, the invitation, the date, the wristband, the phone, the hard drive. Every clue was placed there by them, step by step. They were never in a hurry to arrest him. They wanted him to fall apart piece by piece under fear. They wanted him to protect Carla so desperately that he would admit with his own mouth how he planned Maika's death. And the reason no one could find Carla is simple. That identity was created only to get close to Alex. But the cruelest move had already happened earlier. While Alex was celebrating his wife's death, Carla had already slipped the same drug into his drink. Now 8 hours have passed. His heart is starting to fail, and his death will look like a sudden medical emergency too, just like Maika's. Jaime looks down at Alex lying on the ground. This time, he doesn't save him. Alex lies in the mud, his breathing getting weaker and weaker. Only now does he finally understand. The thing that truly disappeared tonight was never a woman's body. It was the past he thought he had escaped, and that is where the movie ends. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, make sure to subscribe to Traplix Cinema for more dark thrillers, survival games, and shocking movie endings. Click the next video, and I'll see you in another nightmare.